Okay, so here's one of my talk throughs for a sit go. £5.50 sit and go. I'm on the button, so I just limp in with H8 just to see what happens. Oh, and I flop a up and down straight draw. The villain goes 80. I've not quite got the odds, but I think if somebody else calls I will. So yeah, now so I've got one caller, so my odds were right. I've now got an ace, so I'm looking at top paired, reasonable kicker, maybe getting up to 2 pair. Villain bets quite heavy, but he's given me the odds again. And whack, straight in there with a straight. So our friend goes all in, I think for a second, and call. And he's just on a complete bluff. Thanks very much. As usual, we're just going to fast forward all the hands that I'm not involved in, or that aren't important. And here I've got ace-2 suited. Wouldn't normally play it, but everybody limps to me. So I just check. And I flop the world, as they would say. Nut flush. There's no pairs on the board, so I'm looking fairly safe. Again, nothing to worry about, so I'm just going to call. I've got a caller here. I think about half pot and then I go to 3/4 pot. That gets rid of one player and ringer calls. Now I'm not directly involved in this hand, although I'm the big blind, I get raised off of it. But this is an example of how watching the game when you're not in a hand gives you an idea of the playing style. Now Vixie raised up quite heavy. She continuation bets. GFM Poker thinks it for a while and pushes all in. Snap call for Vixie with bottom pair, which is, to be quite frank, a pretty atrocious play, and GFM Poker just gets unlucky. Got a feel for the guy, but that gives me information about how Vixie's going to be playing. Now this is about table image. I've sat out for quite a while, so I've got ace-10, ain't a great hand, but it's marginal enough to play, so I raise an early position. Get rid of the small blind, I believe. Yep. And the big blind calls. And I miss it by a mile. Now because I've got a relatively tight image, I'm going to rep an overpair. So a continuation bet, and ringer's got nothing to call me with, so that's it. This is a similar position for the last hand with ace-10. This time it's suited and this time I've got a bit of position. So I raise. This time I do hit, and it's exactly the same. So with these two last hands you can't tell if I've hit or I'm not. I've just continuation bet with position. So there you go. So I've got ace-queen and I've got the button. Weak raise from behind me. Now he's not got a lot of chips, so I want to apply pressure and try to isolate him. So I'm going to raise up. Can't remember what I do here, if it's a pot or what it is. I'm having a think. It's a pot. And there I go. So I try to isolate and get rid of the other two players. Templar's having a think. And he got. Now I'm pretty prepared to call this. Looks like it's going to be a chop. With a king 9-5 board, yeah, it's going to be a chop. Now, isolating them helped me get the chop because Vixie or Templar could have came in with rubbish, king 5 or something like that, and then I would have been in a world of hurt. Now our par's just recently doubled up, and he's now going to become a bit of a bully, and I'm not going to fight him off with sixes because I've got a pretty weak player in Vixie, so that would be my target in this game. I get 10s. Again, I want to isolate anybody that's coming in. I'm not wanting them to join 3 up. And they both fold, so I get a 300 chip pot out of that for it, so that's not too bad. And now we come to the final hand. I fold 6-7. Flop come down 7 king queen. Vixie goes all in and Templar calls with set. Now she'd went in with second pair. Not a bad play, but to be expected from her, I think. And I go off and bank my money. Thanks very much.